have a list this time, but let's not go through it in advance, and then we can just have a recap at the end. Did we hit all the points?
Rant.
I don't have a list.
We know.
Right, I'm just going to go and take the dog inside before we carry on with the hot. It's not a euphemism for anything.
Yeah, right.
That's getting old.
Yeah.
Come on, you.
Yeah, I really have to use my router more because it's the one tool that I'm most afraid of. I'm most hesitant to use because I have too little experience. And then I would say the table saw after that. So I need to use them more to get more comfortable.
And I need to service mine as well, because you have some leveling screws for that top plate. And I did use Loctite on them, but over time anything loose on the router will shake itself loose over time, and so I need to find a solution for that. And it's also the question if maybe that's one of the reasons why it's biting, that I might not even feel it when I'm shaking it, but maybe it's like a half of a quarter of a millimeter or something play in it that you don't really notice unless you have the huge bits in it, and it grabs because there is a tiny
something
vibration.
big into it. Yeah, that might be.
And of course, I saw this. They now have the electric power lift for it as well, but that was like, ooh, I'm not using it enough for that price. So I'm gonna keep my system if I can get it to work. So I need to try and refix those leveling bolts and keep them in place.
My leveling bolts keep going awry as well. I was using it the other week. I literally set the table, used it once, and then tried it again, and the piece of wood's hitting it where it's sunk down again.
Yeah, I was trying to. All right, I used a Loctite, and you have different types of Loctite, but maybe I should just use Tech 7, because once it's set, of course, I'm not going to take it apart again. And I mean, you can with brute force, or just use regular Loctite, but at the end of them, just cap them off with, because this is on the underside, just cap them off with with a glue gun.
Yeah. You have a TIG welder.
Yeah.
And you
it is a metal plate, so yeah, that's
just hope that it's level when you do it. So
yeah, this is not going anywhere, and then the heat input pulled it to one side, so I always have an angle on my pieces now.
Yeah, it's a statement. So in other news, I paid off my student debt the other day.
Wow.
So I thought. No, it's not bad, because I only had like a little over £1,000 left on it. So it felt I had some spare money, so I just paid it off. And then I logged into the page. Oh yeah, the money has come in. But the same day, the same time that I paid it off, they added the interest and the service fee. So now I have £12 in student debt.
That's when you call them and I'm struggling a bit. Can I split it up? I would like to. Can you stretch it over the next 10 years?
I was considering that, actually. So yeah, soon I will be free of my student loan.
Yeah, I did that a few years ago, and it felt really good to just cashing that in and getting done with it. And of course, we had the house mortgage, and the student loan wasn't that much, so it did not. It didn't make much of a dent each month, but it is nice getting that letter that you're done. Yep.
Yeah, it's been the last couple of years. It's been like zero interest, but now it's actually increased to a couple of percent, I think. So now it's actually reasonable to do this as well.
Yeah, it's the same in Norway. All the student loans are a government institution, so they have only the interest rates basically to cover their cost of administrating it. So it's been the last one that you should pay down. But yeah, it feels nice just paying it down, and I'm at that level with my car as well, where I am. I think it's a bit over 2 years left, but I could probably just pay it down this summer, be done with it. But it is in that cross point with, all right, I can pay it down, and then I have more to spend every month. But of course, when you get your holiday money close to the summer, and but if I use the majority of that to paying down my car, it's a sensible thing to do. But it's also nice in the summer when you get that a bit more chunk of money than you could buy tools, basically. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm going to buy tools. So
I've not bought a car on finance for many years now, so that's a nice feeling not to have to pay that every month.
yeah, and it's the first time I've done it, I think, as I can remember, and it's my last time. And of course, we did this right before we got kids. We wanted a new safe car, and I've been driving bangers all the time. So like, all right, we get a proper one this time, and yeah, instead of shelling out too much of the savings, like, all right, spread it out. So we took it by financing, and I mean, it hasn't been that much, but it is nice to finish that chapter. And I'm going to run it to the ground. I'm already halfway there. I need to put it in a garage to fix an oil leak. So,
It's still ongoing, is it?
yeah, I've been just been washing it now for a couple of times, and that works fine. But no, it needs to go in, and I've identified the leak as well. And I don't want to be the one doing it, so I'm just gonna bite the apple and pay someone to have it done. And
Yeah. I've had a sticky brake pad on the van, and over that last holiday that we've just had, I took the wheel off and cleaned the caliper and the pistons up as best I could and put it back together, and actually thought I'd solved the problem. But this week it's just started binding again, so that's going to be a garage job, unfortunately. But the biggest problem with that is while it's in the garage, I can't use it,
yeah.
which is problematic.
Do you show up in the gardens on a bike or something like that?
The thing is, I normally have to use Michelle's car when when the van's in, and Michelle drives a Mini. So
So it's
But I
more
mean,
adjacent
if
to
it's
just taking the bus.
yeah, it's a big Mini, but it's still a Mini.
also
The mower's not good.
it's not the club, man.
No, it's the Countryman.
Yeah.
She has, yeah. So it's the bigger one, but the mower's still not going in the back of that thing.
No.
But it's great.
Does it
to
have a
drive to
trailer?
work.
Does it have a trailer hitch?
No. We don't need a trailer because we have a van.
Exactly. And that's the thing, though. I mean, one thing is if you have a mortgage on a car, but in Norway, I mean, the road tax and the insurance that you need to have, at least if you have financing on it, you would like to have the top insurance as well, because if something happens, then you don't have to pay for a car that no longer exists because it burned up somewhere
Yeah.
or got stolen. And that is quite a lot of £1,000 a year. So every month you're spending a lot of money on that car before you're driving it, and then of course it's the cost of driving it. And
How much is your road tax?
a couple of years ago I could have given you the answer straight away, because they sent you an invoice every March, but
Just roughly.
now they have made the insurance companies to add it to their bills, and of course
okay.
the insurance company now bills us once a month, and that is just baked into those invoices. And of course now the wife are handling them. So
Yeah.
I just well, we never get any invoices anymore. So, but I'm thinking though, I mean, it would be so nice to have only one car, and it is ridiculously amount of money you can save on it. So you could actually get a job closer that with relatively less pay and still out ending coming out the same because you don't have to have that car. It is the most expensive dumb item you can have. At least for me, that I don't have a car that I show off and I like driving for the sake of driving anymore, and I don't like working on them, so it doesn't give me any pleasure except getting me from my home to Bauhaus and back again. So it's,
I can't imagine you being able to survive without a car where you live at all. To be honest with you, I mean,
no, no. So
even
He
if you
doesn't
were,
want to leave home, so
even if you worked at the bottom of the hill, you'd still need a car where you live.
yeah, but then we could only need one car. We could have my wife's car, and or I could buy an old Toyota 30 years old because cars that are more than 30 years, most of it I can jerry rig myself, but they're also tax free in that sense of they are,
Classics.
yeah, classics. So you don't have
Yeah.
to pay as much tax on them, and so they're basically free to own.
Right.
You just have to spend more on repairs. So still, money
I think
pit.
I think we're losing KJ. He's glazing over.
no, I was actually looking up what we pay. It's 130 quid a year.
Oh, okay.
I had to look it up because I don't have a car. My wife has a car.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I mean, Denmark is worse than us, and we are worse off than Sweden. So of course, it's always been like the dream. I've seen my dream cars when I was like 18, 19. I mean, you can get them 30% cheaper in Sweden, but of course, you have to pay the Norwegian car tax when you're importing them, so they become extremely expensive here. And you're not allowed to drive a Swedish registered car with a Norwegian license in Norway. Uh, Getting caught is very unlikely, but still. So if you can go to Sweden and buy a car cash, that's one thing, but they won't allow you to have the Swedish plates unless you have a Swedish address. So
Mm. So you need a goalkeeper right here.
yeah,
I
so
read about there's a car cemetery somewhere close to the border to Norway because like 50 years ago there were two brothers having a machine shop there where they bought cars in Sweden and chopped them into three parts because then it was enough parts, and then they shipped them to Norway because then they weren't cars, they were parts, and then they
yeah.
put them back together, and then they were a Norwegian car. So that's a way to put them over the border. It had to be more three parts or more.
Gosh.
Yeah, that was,
I
and
think that was brilliant.
there was also some special car that was not officially imported to Norway, and also kit cars. You could build kit cars in Sweden, but not in Norway, and get them road legal. But if they at some point were road legal in Sweden and you had to pay Swedish papers on them, then you can get them road legal in Norway. So a lot of people bought cars and had someone register them in Sweden for a period of time, and then they bought them and got them registered in Norway. And I mean, you really need to be interested in cars to doing all that, but
Yeah.
people do, of course. But I can't be bothered. But
It's interesting. Me and Michelle both have the same size engine in our car, so we both have a 1.6 diesel engine. And my road tax on the van is £260 a year, and Michelle's road tax is £30 a year, which I've never been able to figure out, and I've never wanted to question it in case they decide to put Michelle's car up to £260 as well.
Is that a van thing that only it's mostly work people who have
I don't know.
vans?
I don't
Is
know
the
whether
new
it's
tax?
an emissions thing or
probably is
yeah.
hers newer than yours?
No, actually
No.
the other way around. Yeah, no, it's weird. Just want to
Hmm.
just one of life's little mysteries that I never bother to investigate, but sometimes think about.
Is it registered on you personally or on your business or?
The van's well, it's just registered to me personally, but it's
Okay, yeah.
a commercial insurance and whatnot.
I have no idea.
No, me neither. I don't understand how things work here either.
I mean,
So
it's really
then-
fun when you see Americans talking cars. I've been watching Evan Monsma's channel where he's redoing his car, and he said at some point that I'm glad I live in a country where it's where he can do this, because he's ripped out most everything from the dashboard and that sort of thing and made his
Right.
own. And I was thinking, how much can you modify a car and still have it road legal? I mean, there was another, I think it was William Osman who did a YouTube video. How much can you remove from a car and it's still being a car? And they just
Yeah.
chopped stuff off and drove down the street, and the police didn't stop them. So
But that's the thing though in Norway. When I went to university, I was actually studying with someone that also used to work in the DMV, and he said that I mean all the rules and regulations are there usually for a safety aspect. So if you come and talk to them before you do the things that you do, and of course you can meet an asshole that has a bad day and don't want to help you along, but usually if you meet a decent guy, they will help you along and tell you, and all right, if you just keep these parts intact, or you can document this and that, and you can do a lot of things. But of course, when people with questionable backgrounds just chop things off, and then the police see them in traffic, and do you have any papers on what you've done here? No. But I used a car battery and some coins and some clamps, and I welded this together, and this ain't going anywhere. So it's kept together with ratchet straps and whatnot. So yeah, it's understandable they ask questions. There are some of the cars I've seen on the road in the United States. I wouldn't be sitting in them, and I don't feel comfortable driving alongside them on the highway. So I'm just gonna speed past them, so I'm not gonna be hit by any shrapnel falling off.
yeah, definitely.
But segueing away from cars, Glenn, I mean, you should put yours in the workshop so you can bring it up to Maker Central, because you're gonna sleep in it, aren't you? Or did you order hotel rooms? I've seen some messages now. The prices have gone up.
I've got a hotel room. Yeah, it's all booked. Yeah, no, I'm not sleeping in the van. Although it wouldn't be the first time. I used to sleep in the van when I went fishing when I could. I've got a nice comfy bed which fits perfectly in the bag. So
Yeah, I've done the same when my father has a
Yeah.
company van. I use that all the time for trips. So
and to be honest with you, if it was just me going to Makers, I'd probably do that. Although I do quite like the hotel breakfast in the morning.
yeah. But ooh, I mean, just generally the prices has gone up, and now I see what people are paying, and like it feels less bad facing the fact that I might not go there, and then of course
Hang on a minute.
it's a harder realization. If I were to be able to go, then shit, I don't want to spend this money. I could buy a plane there for that money.
Oh, you just said might not go. Before it, you weren't going. What's going on? Are you having second thoughts?
No, it's me don't wanting to let people down, so I'm giving false hope. I'm not going.
Is
so,
that better?
He said he might, yeah, but it's no, it's the introvert in me. Like, so are you coming to the party on Saturday? Oh, I maybe. I know I'm gonna be in my bed. So
Oh, that's a shame. I mean, I had got it into my head that you weren't coming, but then you just said might, and you raised my hopes.
Yeah.
So now
Now
I'm
it's
sad
depressed again.
Yeah.
yeah, but it was a happy 2 seconds, wasn't it? Yeah,
Best 2 seconds this evening.
I was gonna say just like sex, but yeah, move along.
That long?
You do count foreplay, don't you?
What's that?
Buying dinner on the way home. I mean, when you're familyized, you have to take what you get. So Ooh, we got the laundry done early this week. Like, ooh, let's celebrate.
That's the best kind of
Yeah.
foreplay in a relationship when you have kids. I've done the dishes.
Yeah,
That's
I saw you put on the washing machine. I just put them up on the rack. You did what?
You wait till the teenagers and they go to bed at the same time as you. You don't stand a chance then.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anywho.
I've got nowhere to go.
No,
I
me
didn't write
neither.
a
I
list.
ran out of.
I was just enjoying the awkward silence. It's been a while since we had one of those.
I had the last point on my list, which we covered, and I don't want to double back to it. It's tax return, company tax. So, yeah, I'm all out. Is this going to be the shortest half pint?
I think
Well, that depends if we end it now or if we keep yammering.
one of the early ones we did a 15-minute.
Yeah.
The last Maker Central one was about 15 minutes as well. Actually.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was,
but that
wasn't
was
it?
a special one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
special.
Low effort. That's what made it special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see any Norwegians at this year's Maker Central. It feels like not.
God, I hope not.
Well, do you
There
hope
was a
that we
lot
don't see
last
them or
year.
that it's not anyone?
No,
Yeah, there was a lot last year.
I'm joking. It would be nice if at least one Norwegian would come over and bring me some smash.
But I saw the ad from Sopea over at Instagram, or was it TikTok? I'm not sure.
Both, I think.
Yeah, most likely both. Asking for people to show interest in joining the Make with Makers booth set up, and then I got, of course, if I were to go, I had nothing to contribute, but then we could have a booth like make your own podcast session, and we could just and then we could get the content, of course. So come here, have a half-hour sessions, make your own podcast about whatever, and we help you along. We set up the equipment, and then we publish. So we could publish like 40, 50 episodes a day with random people. It's like, it would be an experiment, but yeah, might be too much hassle.
I read Soapy's post and it said, "Are you Instagram famous?" And I thought, "Oh, that's me out."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're YouTube famous.
Nope, not famous.
In a very small circuit, then you're
Yeah.
famous.
You know what to say. Everybody knows the monkey. No, the monkey knows everyone. Yeah, there was a say.
You're saying that Glenn is a monkey.
I think he is.
Or is it
very,
ape?
very much. Ape,
Same
yeah.
difference in it.
Nah,
Planet of the Apes, they're all monkeys, aren't they? And apes.
I think apes are the ones who are humanoid, isn't? And monkeys are the other ones. Monkeys are the ones with tails.
Okay. Oh, like lemurs
Isn't
and
it?
stuff like that.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I just gotten this into my head. It's like you could be a gorilla or a chimpanzee or a orangutan or a human.
You know,
You can be whatever you want nowadays, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you.
What do you identify as?
Yeah.
I mean, I get some gorilla vibes from you.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way I'd go as well with that. Bit silverback.
Ask me again next week, and I'll probably know. We started reading a book about animals for the kids, and we come to the chapters insects. So I could give you the definition of an insect and why a spider is not an insect, but we haven't gotten to the monkey, gorilla, marsupial section yet. So
You
So
really
what?
learn a lot when you have kids and read those
yeah, and the
books
thing
about
though,
nature and
one
think-
thing is the things that you learn, but you learn all the things that you forgot because I probably learned this in school once, but I was too busy looking out the window at the guys running an excavator or something like that. So
I think we must have read too much Julia Donaldson. I didn't learn anything other than how to try and survive with even less sleep in my life.
yeah, both
That's
my kids really like the facts stuff about the human body, about animals, about fossils, precious stones, everything. I mean, I learned just this evening that flamingos are filtrators. Is that what they call it? They use filtration for when eating. I didn't know that before.
I knew that.
Good for you.
Yeah, and that baby flamingos, they are not pink because they get that from the coloring in the shell of the crustaceans that they're
No,
eating.
the shrimps, yeah.
Yeah. Shrimp sequestration, right?
Yes, they should be.
Yeah. What colour is a baby flamingo?
They're grey.
Grey, okay. See, I didn't know that. We've all got our own
Welcome
flamingo
to the
facts,
Animal
haven't we?
Planet.
Yeah. Welcome to Flamingo Facts. It's a new segment for the
Animal facts of the week.
There used to be, or is, a theme park not that far away from here called Flamingo Land. That's another flamingo fact for you.
Yeah.
Now we all contributed.
Right, this I have to Google then, because of course at some point one of the local like home decor, they sold this yard flamingos, like you just put them out on the lawn, and I'm not
Plastic
sure.
ones.
Yeah, just for decorations, and they feel a bit weird putting that off in Norway. And then I do
It's
think
a bit of a
someone
Florida
said
vibe, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also I think the the same shop also sold some home decor where they had like some plastic gold pineapples, and people just bought them and put them up, and that gave off wrong signals to the wrong people. And I think it's the same with the flamingo. So I think
so too.
I think the pineapple is for the wife swapping community, and I think the
really?
flamingo is something other, but in the same area of expertise.
Is that swingers, perhaps?
Isn't that the same as wife swapping, or is that just...
I class it as the same.
It might. I think this one is a subcategory of the other, perhaps, or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, but it's some. I think flamingos show something.
So I learned quite a few years ago now that apparently pampas grass in somebody's front garden is a sign that they're into that sort of thing. Which
Pampas
really
grass?
makes me laugh every time we go past an old person's house and they have a big old pampas grass, elephant grass. I can give you its proper name, but not any other common names, I'm afraid. The big tall grass with the big plumes on the top.
Yeah. Oh, that's... it's hard enough going to the plant land or whatever it's called to get something for your garden. But I mean, it's hard enough. Will this fit? Will this survive this climate? And then I have to take into account, like, what will the neighbors think of me, and what propositions will I get if I plant this one in my garden? It's too much hassle.
I'll have one of everything.
But that's a nice joke, though, because you probably have some friends that doesn't know this, so you just... for Christmas, you buy them, or like a homecoming gift, or no, not homecoming, but like a gift when you're going away for dinner or something. You just bring, look, I bought you this this flamingo to put in your yard, and they're like, oh, thank you, and they put it up. I'm like, I've been getting a lot of weird phone calls last week. Been invited to all sorts of dinner parties. Spent an hour finding my keys in that bowl. What the fuck?
Oh, that's so stupid. I think we reached the proper stupidity level to end this half pint.
Yeah. Let's not go any further.
No, it's bedrock. On our feet. Definitely bedrock. You can't steep any lower. Definitely not.
We hit bedrock, but we didn't fire. We didn't strike any gold. So let's try again next week.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.